they are, and I'm agnostic in
Have you
some
ever seen
ways.
anything?
Well, let me.
Yeah?
Well, yes, I have actually.
What'd you say?
I mean, I don't know what they were, but I've seen things I can't explain.
What did you see?
So I saw. So there's twice I've seen things. One time I saw 3 lights that were. I thought they were stars, and then the one on they were all just like, they looked almost like Orion's belt, like 3 stars, and then the one on the far left just broke away from the other 2, and then and it was weird. This is gonna sound really weird, and so I don't.
No, just express it. No,
it really, like, literally, it felt like it was pulling my left eye. The left, like I was looking at them, and it felt like, you know how like it's almost like you're being cross-eyed, but it felt like it was literally pulling my left eye. And then it just did a set of squiggles like that, and then a cloud bank came over and covered it up. You know, I don't know what it was. I know drones didn't look like a drone. There was no noise.
But did you see a shape of this thing, or was it
No?
like
They were
as
just
high
they
as
were
the
just
stars?
white. They were just white lights. I couldn't tell how high up they were. And then the other one I saw was actually in a suburb of Houston, or was it Dallas? And I was running at night, and there were these 2 guys there, 2 black guys, young guys that had just gotten out of their car, and they were. And I had seen these orange orbs, and then they were filming them with their cameras. And I went over them, and I was like, what are those? And they're like, we don't know. I mean, they looked a little bit like, at first you thought they were Chinese lanterns, but there was no paper bag, you know, that the lanterns are no, like, there's nothing there. So they looked like, and they also kind of looked like there was some translucent thing around them, and they looked, I couldn't also tell how big they were. Couldn't figure out where they were coming from. I went and ran around the neighborhood trying to figure out where they were coming from to see if maybe somebody was sending off.
How fast were they moving?
Shockingly slow. Like they were sort of
floating.
They were
like
kind
a
of
balloon.
They felt like they were floating. So I'm not saying I don't know what they were.
What happened with them?
I watched them until they stopped coming.
What do you mean?
I mean, I just watched them. They just kind of would appear out of nowhere, and then they would like, it was in this residential neighborhood, and then they just
Drift off?
and they would float over. We watched them at one point float all over downtown.
So it's probably like a Mylar balloon or something with an
Didn't
LED
look like
light
it.
inside of it.
I mean, it was just they were also blurry and orange. I mean, I looked up
But
orange
there's a lot of
orbs.
cloud cover too.
I
Right?
actually photographed. I have a bunch of
see it?
videos of them.
Let me see.
All right, well,
Send it to Jamie.
Okay,
We're gonna analyze it. We'll tell you what it is.
all right. But I also want to tell you the thing we just did. All right.
Okay. I need those videos.
All right. Okay. So people are gonna have
We'll
to
pause.
wait for me.
We'll pause
Okay,
real
all
quick.
right. All right.
We'll pause.
All right. And I also have the ones that the guys there, we exchanged phone numbers and stuff, and they texted me.
Since we're paused, I have an update on your story that's been published already.
Oh, what
today.
is it?
People found out on Google there was some mentions of that back, they think, when Grush brought it up in 2023. And since that was made public on Twitter, it seems that Google has removed those searches.
What?
Yeah.
This
I'll
is
show
for the
We're
name
not
of
pausing.
the.
We're keeping this
Well,
in.
then I was going to bring it up when we came
This
on,
is
but
Immaculate Conception.
Yeah, there's this screenshot someone took of a spike.
Wow.
I guess it doesn't say the exact date. I was trying to find it and tried to recreate it too, and then like an hour later, the spike's gone.
Oh, that's crazy. But did Grush mention Immaculate Conception?
I don't know. It says.
Okay, the term
Around the time-
immaculate conception is rarely searched on Google. Of course, searches for it skyrocketed today, and this is because of UAPs. So, what did Grush say?
Immaculate Conception is the name of the secret UAP Pentagon program that I revealed today.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Show more. Of course, searches for it skyrocketed, but there was one other time it was displayed in a large blip, June 2023. Just as modern UAP crash retrieval story broke, David Grush went public and hearings were planned.
Whoa.
But it
So
also
they removed that spike, so they pretend it doesn't exist anymore?
I don't know. It says 0 there, so it's hard to say. It could have been a Google trend blip that people were trying to make something and
That is
make
weird.
more out of, but it is a weird. It's weird. I'll just say
It is weird that it just jumped up one day and then stopped. But also, people have like a fucking very quick news cycle. How's it going over there?
Me? Oh, I'm trying to find the videos.
How long ago was this?
It was last year, and it must have been. So here's the other weird thing is that it It was the same day that I published a story about UAPs.
Oh.
So
You ever wonder if
interpret
like maybe
that-
they're fucking with you and they find out where you are and they send some drones over to his place, get him to start talking?
I mean, I felt better because there were two other guys there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I have their info, and so yeah, I don't. It's just
Of course. Who knows what it is? But at least it's not behaving like something out of this world. It's
Yeah.
not like the Phoenix Lights where you got something that's a mile long flying over Phoenix and no one can figure out what it is.
right.
There's there's enough of these that make me think there's something going on. I don't think it's all bullshit. I think some of it is ours, but I think a bunch of it's probably not ours.
But so first of all, if they are ours and they're anti-gravity, that's just insane.
Insane.
And the
Yeah.
part of me that's skeptical of it is because I know a lot about nuclear energy and nuclear power, and it took a huge amount of effort to build the bombs. Huge amount of effort, huge number of people. So the idea that anti-gravity was then sort of like, oh yeah, we just did that in like a couple of years or something, that strikes me as really improbable.
Yeah, very improbable in a couple of years. But if they're doing it over decades, then they're doing it with retrieved crashes, which seems to be a part of the narrative.
Yeah.
You know, Diana Pasulka and Gary Nolan,
Yes.
you're aware of their work.
Of course.
Like, they call them the crash sites donations.
That's very interesting.
It gets weird. It gets
Yeah.
weird because there's a bunch of inventions they attribute to crashed retrievals where they back-engineered stuff. You know, I would imagine that if I was a super sophisticated society from another planet and I saw these struggling apes, I would give them some hints.
Yeah. How do I send these to you?
You can
Jamie?
airdrop them to Jamie's
Oh, okay.
MacBook.
Okay.
See him in there?
No. Wait, airdrop. Okay. It says no people. Oh, there you are. Jamie's MacBook. Okay.
Bam.
They don't. I mean, they don't look like much. You know, they're just like
Right.
orange dots. But
But it's weird.
it's weird.
So what do
I'm
you think-
I want to stress because my critics always use this to try to describe me. I don't know what it, I don't know
Of
what it
course.
is. I just don't know what
course.
it is. And so
Anybody
I'm
who
very,
says they do know what it is, I get very suspicious.
Yeah.
If they say, I have all the information, I'm like,
Yeah.
how could you?
yeah.
How could you? How do you absolutely know what it is? This whole thing is real weird. It's real weird. When fighter pilots recognize things that are behaving in a way that they've never seen before, that's real fucking weird.
Yeah.
When you've got these guys like, Grush is the best example, but there was another pilot, there was another jet that was with him. There's multiple witnesses that saw this thing physically.